I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with the feeder flash for Wednesday, November the 8th, where we're going to talk about Philip the Giant. And that is Philip Livestock Auction in Philip, South Dakota. Just have huge, gigantic sales. Yes, they are seasonal. They're not going to have a giant sale in the middle of the summer. But this time of year, in the fall of the year, they've been having 10, 12, 13,000 cattle every week here for the past several weeks, and we'll continue to have big sales here through the rest of the fall, and just a giant market up there in the northern plains. Look at the board this week. It was lower again, and your cash markets have not been paying any attention to this lower board. They've just been flying right by it, and these big feeder markets were just sharply higher again on Tuesday. And if you look at the board, December live cattle futures on Tuesday were down 70 cents at 124.62. Your February closed on Tuesday at 130.37, so we're still looking like we've got room to grow on this fat cattle market. January feeder cattle down 35 cents at 160.52. Of course, no fat trade at all so far this week. Well, on Monday they did have about 800 head of cleanup sales there at mostly 123, and they just kind of went right along with the close to the weighted average price there. But your 5-year average for your fat cattle sales this time of year is still sitting near 140. I mean, we're higher than we were last year too, but your 5-year average for right now is near 140, so it's not out of line to think that we can get quite a bit higher. Box beef cutout values sharply higher. They were higher on Monday and then higher again on Tuesday, with Tuesday's trade late in the afternoon with choice carcasses at $212.64. $212.64. We were under $200 just not too long ago, but that was up over $2 just for Tuesday. And selects are nearing that $2 at $197.76, up almost $3 on Tuesday alone. We're going to continue to talk about this USDA meat grading situation here, where they recalibrated those cameras that have been grading your steer and heifer carcasses, and actually we're talking about the 9 big plants up through the central parts of the United States. But they did have some grading information, well, it does every week, but it was released for the week ending October the 28th. And about half of that week included some plants that had been recalibrated. So we can start to see how much it is going to affect there. And your choice or better product was down near 2% for the week, with about 2.5 days of some plants being recalibrated. I don't know why we're waiting for information to come out from USDA. Why don't they just tell us what the whole situation is, give us the specifics, and then everybody can weigh those. There's no doubt that's going to probably put more pressure on some of these processing facilities that have sold product out front for the holiday season. Probably mostly choice or better. That's when you get your best demand for those, and they need to be able to see whether they're going to have enough product to fill their orders or not. They may have to dig harder for cattle, and that could help the market, but it's going to give out some bad publicity when it comes out. Anytime you worry about something like that, they didn't change the grading system at all, just recalibrated some instruments that they were using to grade the carcasses, and but it is going to be somewhat negative publicity, which is never good for your cattle and beef markets. But your grading has been running pretty much all year this year, and that's almost a full year, about 6 to 8 percentage points more than usual on your choice or better. So there's no doubt we're probably going to lose somewhere in that 6 to 8%. You wouldn't think that it would be any more than that. Right now we're getting into a lot of long yearling cattle that got put on feed late in the summer that'll be coming out the other end of the feedlots. But some more information on packer information. Another contact of mine out east says that that JBS plant there in Souderton, Pennsylvania is still closed, and it may be closed indefinitely is what they're hearing out there. They're still holding these cattle that are supposed to go there. They're going to ship most of those to another JBS plant somewhere else. But if you look at the market for choice slaughter steers out there, and in that Pennsylvania area, I worked out there for 3 years, know it very well. That is your hotel restaurant type of meat there. They have really high quality product there, right in that Pennsylvania Dutch area, Lancaster County. They're usually running at a premium to the 5 area market, but last week or early this week in some of their fat cattle auctions, their fats were bringing 112 to 115, so that's $10 or more less than what the market is out here, and undoubtedly it's hurting them because they've lost one of their 2 major steer and heifer plants out there in that part of the country in the east. But you look at your feeder cattle markets on Tuesday, OKC West had their calf sale, 8,000 calves this week. Of course, they had their Oklahoma quality calves in there, and that increased the receipts, but $2 to mostly $4 higher on weaned calves. They had so many of them, the ones that were unweaned were falling at a discount, more so than usual. West Plains, Ozarks Regional Stockyards in Missouri there, calves selling there $2 to $4 higher, spots as much as $7 higher. Didn't have a whole lot of yearlings out there. But Philip, South Dakota, like I talked about earlier, had over 13,000 head of cattle there for a one-day sale. And of course, they were still selling them way late into the night there, but didn't have any information coming from Market News. But if you looked at your automated market report on Cattle Market Central that you could watch all day long, all through the day, it looked like the lighter calves, the 4 and 5 weight calves up to 600 pounds, were maybe a pinch lower, $2 to $3 lower. But your bigger feeding type calves, 6 to 8 weight feeding calves, were $2 to $8 higher, and a really good market on them. Look at the most popular weights. They had nearly 3,000 head of 5 weight steers quoted there, averaging 561 at 185.49. That would be down a little less than $3 on that weighted average compared to the weighted average last week. Bigger run of 6 weight calves, almost 3,200 head of 6 weight steers, averaging 636. Weighted average price $177.91. That was up a little over $2. So the market's selling good there, and Philip on a huge run of cattle. But real-time index on Beef Market Central, the average of steers weighing from 7 to 899 pounds in the middle 12 states, sitting at 159.59 late on Tuesday, up $1.29. That's a pretty significant increase. But you look at that Philip market there, had this picture sent to me, and there's 84 head of steers there, weigh 807 pounds at 171.50. Also come through there on Beef Market Central, and those were balling calves weighing over 800 pounds, bring that kind of money. Another market down more in the Midwest, Kingsville Livestock Auction in Kingsville, Missouri. Late in the afternoon there, they had 57 head of big steers, weighed 929 at 163.60. And that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.